You picked up your phone today. You started scrolling. And at some point, you totally lost track of time. Maybe it was 5 minutes. Maybe it was 45. You honestly don't know. Your eyes burn. You feel totally wiped out. And you wonder, why do I have zero self-control? Why can't I just put this thing down? Here is the totally wild truth. It is not a you problem. You are being actively hijacked by a tiny piece of computer code. This code was written by one single guy in 2006. He didn't mean to ruin your sleep, but he accidentally created the most addictive trick in internet history. And today, the guilt is so heavy that he literally spends his life publicly apologizing for it. But it was too late. To understand why this code is so dangerous, you have to remember what the internet was like back in 2006. It was clunky. If you were reading a blog or looking at memes, you would get to the bottom of the page and hit a dead end. To see more, you had to physically click a button that said, "Next page." Then, you had to wait. You stared at a blank screen while the new page loaded. It completely ruined the vibe. Enter Aza Raskin. Aza was a 19-year-old interface engineer. He wasn't evil. He wasn't sneaky. He just thought clicking that "Next" button was annoying. He wanted content to load automatically, so browsing felt smoother. That's it. That was the whole idea. So over a single weekend, Aza wrote a super simple script. When you scrolled near the bottom of a page, the website would secretly load the next page in the background and just stitch it to the bottom. No clicking, no waiting, just a smooth, endless ride. He called it infinite scroll. At first, everyone in the tech world thought Aza was an absolute genius. It was a massive win. But within a few years, tech companies started noticing something terrifying. When they added infinite scroll, people weren't just staying on apps a little bit longer. They were turning into absolute zombies. Why? Because Aza didn't just remove a click. Without knowing it, he completely assassinated something psychologists call a stopping cue. A stopping cue is a signal in your environment that tells your brain, hey, an activity just finished. When you finish a chapter in a book, that is a stopping cue. Even that annoying next page button was a stopping cue. It gave your brain 1 single second to wake up and ask, wait, am I bored? Should I go to sleep? Infinite scroll completely deletes the stop sign, and there is a famous science experiment that proves exactly how wild this is. In 2005, researchers gave people bowls of soup. Half the people got normal bowls, but the other half got magic bowls. These bowls had hidden tubes secretly hooked to the bottom that refilled the soup as the person ate it. The bowl never emptied. The results were mind-blowing. The people with the endless bowls ate 73% more soup, and the craziest part, when asked if they felt full, they said no. Because they couldn't physically see an empty bowl, their brains literally never sent the signal that they were done. Social media apps are a bottomless bowl of soup for your eyeballs. Because there is no end to the feed, your brain never gets the signal to feel full. But a bottomless bowl is only half the trap. Because here's the part that will really mess with your head. Your brain has an ancient system called variable reward. 200,000 years ago, it helped humans survive because the reward of finding food was unpredictable. You didn't know if the next bush had berries, so your brain forced you to keep looking. Always one more bush. Infinite scroll accidentally hardwired itself right into that exact survival system. Every time you swipe down, you don't know what's coming next. Maybe it's boring. Maybe it's the funniest video you've seen all week. Your brain doesn't know, and that uncertainty is literally the point. It is the exact same psychology as a Vegas slot machine. You pull the lever, you don't know if you'll win, so you pull it again and again. Aza Raskin accidentally put a casino in the pocket of 5 billion people. Once the tech giants realized they had a literal slot machine that never ran out of tokens, they weaponized it. They stopped caring about making apps convenient and started focusing entirely on harvesting your attention. By the way, I expose secret corporate psychology tricks like this every single week. So if you want to learn how the Matrix is actually hacking your brain, hit that subscribe button to join the smartest group on the internet. So what happened to Aza? Around 2018, when phone addiction and mental health stats started going off the rails, he went public. He explicitly stated that he felt responsible. He famously called his own invention behavioral cocaine. He even did the math and realized that infinite scroll wastes roughly 200,000 human lifetimes every single day. Aza is not the villain here. He built a feature and regretted it. The real villain is what happened next. In 2021, a whistleblower named Francis Haugen leaked internal documents from Facebook. Those documents proved that the platforms knew the endless scrolling was causing massive anxiety and depression, especially in teens. They had the data, but they kept infinite scroll anyway, because more scrolling equals more ads, which equals billions of dollars. They refused to turn off the revenue engine. Real talk for a second. How long can you focus on a single thought before you want to check your phone? In 2004, the average person could focus on a screen for 2.5 minutes. By 2023, some studies clocked it at under 47 seconds, less than a minute, to look at one thing. Infinite scroll specifically trains you to expect novelty on demand. So when you go back to real life, a book, a conversation, a normal task, your brain sits there going, okay, but what's next? You didn't get lazy, you got rewired. Aza Raskin still runs a nonprofit trying to fix this, but the machine is just too big now. He lit a match in 2006, and he's been standing next to the roaring fire ever since, apologizing to everyone walking past. Next time you pick up your phone and start scrolling, try to catch yourself. Just for a second, ask your brain, wait, am I choosing this, or am I just still going? They trapped your eyes by taking away the bottom of the page, but your phone is just the beginning, because the entire physical world around you is rigged. That close doors button in your elevator? It is totally fake. A psychological pacifier designed to give you an illusion of control. Click this video to see the truth.